What's up, YouTube? Today we are going to be reviewing the 2007 Audi A4. It's a very fun car, very great car. I would say that it's extremely reliable, as long as you keep up on maintenance. Yeah, so this video is probably going to be kind of a what you need to know and 10 things I hate about it, but let's get started. Alrighty. So, under the hood, it's just like any other stock A4, for now. Let's see if I can get a good angle. Alright, so right down here you have the turbo. They usually go out anywhere from 80,000 to 120,000 miles. This one was at 127 when I got it, and of course the turbo was bad. Now, not every turbo will go bad at that specific mileage, but most of them do. So just be prepared to replace a turbo. Another thing would be timing. They recommend doing timing at 80,000 miles. I think it's actually 100,000 miles, but a lot of people say do it at 80,000 miles because it's always better to do it before. You have to do it every 80,000 to 100,000 miles. This one was done at 83,000 miles. So I didn't have to worry about that, but now that I'm approaching 160,000 miles, I'm going to have to be doing it again here soon. As for things that I hate about the car, those would be two. Having to do the timing and then the turbo. At the time, I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I just went with a stock turbo. But before too long, we will be upgrading that to a KO4 turbo. The stock turbo is a KO3. It's just a little bit smaller of a turbo than the KO4. Another thing is these things have diverter valves for the turbos made with a rubber boot. And of course, rubber over time deteriorates, and you'll have to replace that too. I was lucky when I bought the new turbo, it came with a new diverter valve, and they call it a piston diverter valve, if I am not mistaken. That is the better of the two diverter valves that I know of. The piston kind is not made of rubber, and it won't tear later on. Diverter valve also goes out about the same time the turbo does, if not before. The other thing is, it's basically a Volkswagen, and just like any Volkswagen, they always have a check engine light for something. And usually it is something so stupid and simple, but it is always on. That is number 3 that I hate. Number 4 thing that I hate about my Audi would be on the inside. So in here, let's see if you guys can see that. So right here, you have a sun visor, just like any other car out there. Well, the little plastic clips that hold the sun visor, very notorious for breaking. They break all the time. I put a new one in, and it broke after, I think, 10 days. Now, maybe I'm using it too hard, or maybe I'm using it wrong, but they break all the time. It's just cheap, thin plastic, and yeah. The next thing that I hate about this car, after buying it, I found out it was already done, but the A-arms, the control arms for the wheels, you have to replace those too, about 80,000 miles. Yeah. The thing is great in the snow, though, so it's got its ups and its downs. Number 5 thing that I hate about these cars, the door handle. You have to be careful with these door handles. They do break. I've been fortunate and haven't broken one yet, but I know people that have, and I know cars out there that have them broken, they suck. Another thing that I hate about my specific Audi A4, it's not something that's a problem with the car, but the cover for the engine, it rattles because underneath this cover, let's see, so right there, there's supposed to be a rubber boot like on this one, and this one does not have it. So it rattles. When the hood's shut, it doesn't rattle bad at all, but when I'm working on it and I have the hood up, it rattles, and I end up taking it and throwing it because it is that annoying. I don't know if this is, something that happens on all of them, but I see it on a lot of them, so I'm assuming is the plastic paint peels off these center pieces, and it just looks terrible. I haven't ordered it yet. I have it ready to be paid for, but I've got 3 of them actually. I don't know which one I want. They have the ones for the S-line A4s that have the little silver trim that goes right across it, and it looks good, but this one looks clean when you put a new one on. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So if you guys want to comment below on what I should do, let me know. That would be great. Let's see. Walk around the car. So it looks absolutely stunning. This is why I chose my Audi B7 A4, is because it's a beautiful car. Another reason that I hate my Audi A4, don't mind the mess, it is pretty dirty in here. I don't know why. I know my car's been in 2 previous accidents before I owned it. One at the front end and one at the rear end. So about 3 or 4 years apart. And it's still got a clean title, so that's good. But whoever did the repair job on the rear, because I'm sure this is not how it works for every car, this seal right here, this seal that goes around it, perfect on keeping water out of the trunk. However, it does not keep dust out of the trunk. And I know that because I've checked underneath the floor mat where the spare tire is. They don't have any holes down there. I've checked behind in here, and it wouldn't be able to come through there as easy. And so I'm assuming it'd be right around here, because I've got a lot of dirt in here. But somehow the dirt just fills in the trunk and just makes it super dirty. So that's another thing I hate about my Audi A4. Notice the APR stickers on the side. I did buy a APR turbo, but when I went to have it installed, they told me to get a cheap one to put in, and so I did. And that's why I said I didn't have a whole lot of money when I bought the turbo, because I would have bought a cheap K04, but I also didn't want to ruin a K04 at the same time. And because I had just bought an APR turbo, I just didn't have the money. So that's why those stickers are on the side, was because I was going to be getting an APR K04 turbo, which is like $2,500. Anyways, the guy that went to install it recommended putting just a cheap turbo in there, and so that's what we did. And good thing I did, because I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not acting right. And so we started working on it, because when we put it in there, it was like a day after I got out at night. I opened the hood because it just wasn't boosting right or something, and we looked at it and it was bright red. Now, I don't know if turbos are supposed to get bright red, but mine was. And so we just thought it wasn't right, and so we pulled the catalytic converter and we bored that out. And that helped a little bit, but of course it caused another check engine light. So we ordered a Flowmaster catalytic converter. We put that in the car and it seems to be doing great. It's working a lot better, the turbo's better, but we're pretty sure that the last catalytic converter, which does go bad about 120,000 miles, at least on mine, and it caused the turbo to overheat. So I'm glad that I didn't put that APR turbo in there, because that would have seriously sucked. So I've got to get that installed. That'll be later on down the road, though. Yeah. Anyways, another thing that I hate about my Audi A4 would be the mirrors. Yeah. So mine is considered a premium package, but it doesn't have heated mirrors. I don't like cars without heated mirrors, because in the wintertime, the snow gets built up on those mirrors, and then you can't see. So that's lovely. I think every car should come standard with heated mirrors. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Come into the car. Now, this one has really nothing to do with the Audi A4 itself, but this radio is aftermarket. I installed it, so I might have screwed up, but the keys that came with it to take out the stock radio will not remove this radio. So this one started having issues probably 6 months to a year after I installed it, and I went to take it out so that I could replace it, and I can't get the damn thing out. So we are going to, from the comments on the last video, we are going to be hitting it with a golf club. Not in the car. It will be removed. I don't know how, but it will be removed. And then we're going to hit it with a golf club. Another thing that I hate about my Audi A4. The cover for the sunroof. So, I don't know exactly how these things work, but when you open the window, it'll push this thing all the way back here, and it will not bring it back. So I've got to dig down there for like 5 minutes trying to grab it, and then I can finally pull it forward, and that's how I close this thing. So I just don't open the sunroof all the way. Yeah. This one I kind of feel has to do with Audi themselves. Is the interior is super cheap. These armrests in between the seat, these plastic like covers that go on, they are so cheap and they break so easy. Like, it's just cheap plastic things that hold this on there, and that's supposed to be there, I'm assuming, because it's hard. But yeah, like, that'll break so easy. And when I got this car, it was broken. And not only that, but the like material that they have on these things, like the staples like come undone and it just comes out. And I see it on a lot of B7s and even B6s that have them. So yeah. We're kind of losing the sunlight, so I'm probably going to wrap it up here, but this is my Audi A4. I love the car, and I hate it at the same time because of all the little things and whatnot that you have to replace over time. It's a very it's a car that you have to do a lot of maintenance on. And every issue it's ever had, it is still ran, though. I've never had a problem with it not being able to get me from point A to point B, whether it had the bad turbo, whether it needs the timing done, because I'm gonna have to do that here soon, and I'm sure if that goes out, it will not get me to from point A to point B, so that will be done. The heated mirrors issue never has caused a problem for me getting point A to point B, just like those stupid plastic clips for the sun visor. Sorry, I'm pacing, it's something I do. And that stupid seal at the, there we go, at the trunk of the car. That thing's never caused a problem with anything else aside from dust, which I absolutely hate, having to pull out things out of the trunk and them being covered in dust, which only happens when I get on a dirt road. So as long as I don't get on a dirt road, it's not a problem. But sometimes you just gotta go on a dirt road, just for fun, just for the drive, you know. Another common thing that breaks on these things, which is another thing that I hate about this car. We're gonna come right back to the interior, and I don't know if you guys can see this thing right here. This would be the hood latch, or the hood release. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it. Well, there's supposed to be like a full like piece on it. Well, these break all the time, and so it's like got this sharp edge right here, so if you're not careful, you will stab yourself with it. But yeah, other than that, it's a great car. I love it. I would recommend it to anybody, any of my friends, but it's just annoying. So if you can put up with all those little things, it's a great car. I would recommend it. Keep up on the maintenance and it'll last you forever. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And subscribe to my channel to see some more content on this beautiful B7 A4. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.